and welcome. My name is Paula Rowe, and this is Global Unified Breathing. And today is a really special day for me and you, and we have a very, very, very special guest today. So, like always, before we get started, I'm just going to, before I introduce my beautiful friend and sister, I'd like to just read an invocation. If you participate, just listen to the sound of my voice. Beloved Mother, Father God, in your full power and authority of the beloved presence of God, I am, we now ask for your divine order in our homes, our families, and all of our business affairs, and all the governments around the world. With the divine desire and decree, we ask that all the sons and daughters awaken to your divine will. We ask that they unify and know truth within their heart. We ask and we receive your full power of protection that can only come from the omnipresence of all that is. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. So here we are today. So before I bring Johanne on, I'm just going to tell you guys our connection real quick is we've known each other 30 years.
Yeah.
And just a little bit about Johanne. Johanne Rutledge has been on a spiritual learning path for over 43 years. She's a mediumship counselor, a healing practitioner, a certified Qigong instructor, and she will also be telling you that she is now a breathworker rebirther. Literally, that rebirthing literally saved her life. She is also certified the same place that I got certified, which is really exciting. And Johanne went on to birth herself and get wings and fly. That's basically what it seems like. Once the window opened,
oh yeah,
that really was what happened. So, her life is now about empowering others. Thank you. And guiding and supporting their emotional and physical healing. She is devoted to teach and to pay forward everything she experienced and acquired through the years. She is now founded the School of Intuition and is dedicated to support others in tapping into their own abilities and intuitive gifts. Johanne believes that our sixth sense is everyone's birthright. The precious intuition is just waiting to be discovered and embraced for the goodness of all. And so it is.
and so it is.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, hi, my beloved sister. I'm so
Hi.
excited. This is such a great reunion. I feel,
nice.
I feel your energy. So, I'm really excited. I know the story, so I guess what I'm going to do is ask you to share with everyone, and I am gonna open up the chat just in case we have anybody who wants to be seen, and to talk about how breathing came into your life and maybe what it was like before and what happened as a result, and then we can get excited about where we are now.
I'm going to give you the short version.
Welcome.
I had, like everybody has a story, and my story was that I started being sexually abused when I was 6 months old as an infant until I was 15 years old. And when we finally left, my mother said, I don't want to hear about it. Let's not talk about it. It's the past now. Let's move on. So, oh my God, all this pain and all this energy and this violence that you swallow sticks with you. So there was a lot of anger in me, and I was raped 5 times by my stepbrothers, and it was a lot of stuff, and nobody seemed to care. So when I was 19 and I got pregnant at 16 and had a baby, I think I had a child to keep me living because I just wanted to die every day. And in my little mind, I was carrying aspirin in my pocket, a whole bunch of them. And every day I thought, okay, so if I cannot make it anymore, I'll take all those pills and finally I'll die. And since the age of maybe 7 or 8, I was carrying this little pocket knife. It was very small and very rusted. And every day I thought, okay, if I cannot make it tomorrow, I can kill myself tomorrow. But I'll wait another day, and I'll wait another day, and I carry this. So it was my venting machine. And I think what kept me alive was faith, because I prayed to God every day. I prayed and prayed and prayed. It's God, it's Allah, it's Buddha. We all work and we all come from the same life source. So it doesn't have to be the Catholic God or the Jewish God or any God. It's God. It's just this beautiful creator that created us. So I felt the presence with me, and I prayed every day, and that kept me going one more day without killing myself. So finally, when I was 19 and alone, I started trying to find solutions. So they sent me to a psychiatrist. Some people say psychiatrists are the people taking care of that kind of people.
Yeah.
So I sat there in front of this man and I told him I went through 15 years of abuse, sexual abuse every single day, and I went from 5 rapes. And he says, stop right there. If we were trying to help all the women that have that same story that you have, there will not be enough doctors on the planet. And he gave me a big bottle of pills. And he said, just take a couple of those every day and you feel better. And I just, oh my God, I think I was speechless. So I went home and then emptied the bottle in the toilet because I'm a mom with a 1-year-old. I'm alone and I have a 9th grade education. There's no way I'm going to get on pills. So after that, I tried a psychologist and I tried group therapy. And when I went to those group therapy, there was like 18 people sitting in a room. Everybody's crying. They all crying their heart out, telling their story. And I'm like, I don't need to cry. I can tell you my story. It doesn't bother me a bit. I was really good at pushing it down, but I can handle all those people crying over their story. I mean, what good does it give you? So when after that I went to a psychologist, the pills that they gave me, I took them all, and I tried to commit suicide quite a few times, and nobody could find a solution for me. Nothing worked. So eventually I moved to Florida from Montreal. I'm a French Canadian. This cute, weird accent you're hearing is French Canadian. I twist the words, whatever. So I came to Florida and I did skincare. This customer came in the salon. She was a little weird to me with a weird language I didn't quite know too much about. And she gave me a list of healers. And I'm like, she said, just try to find somebody. I'm sure they're going to help you. So I went to a few with weird experiences. I couldn't understand. I went to this reunion where you're 6 women and it's supposed to be about rebirthing or something. I don't know. And this woman is telling her story. And I thought that was very polite for me to ask a question and say, oh my God, it would have been really hard. And so the teacher said, you never talk unless somebody talks to you. You have no business cutting her off. I thought, oh my God, I did something wrong. And oh my God, everything I tried was so scary. And your card was given to me. with this list, but I lost it. I don't know where it went. And then I give up, and I thought, I'm going to survive this the best way I know how, one day at a time. I'm going to keep praying. So one day I'm cleaning under the microwave. I had a little room when I did skincare, so you don't clean this every day. And there was a little microwave, so I'm like, oh, let me do the big cleaning. And I lift the microwave, and this little card is in there. I'm like, oh, look at that. So this is when I called you. And I had no idea with birthing, whatever it is. So I called you because after a year of trying, nobody would really show me a way that I could understand, or without feeling punished or feeling weird about things, or, those things make you feel ashamed and feeling guilty, and you don't want to talk about it. So I called you, and you gave me an appointment. So that day I went to this big building on the 8th floor, and I ring the door, and the door opens, and there's this blonde, beautiful blonde, long hair, makeup, gorgeous blonde. And I'm like, I thought you would look like me, little short brown hair. And oh my God, I froze, and I thought, if you think I'm going to tell you anything about my life or cry, you have another one coming. And I swear I would never say a word. So I enter, and this is incense going on. Oh my God, very weird for me. And then I sat in front of you, and he says, so sweetie, you want to tell me your story? I'm like, and then I said to you, I am so rotten that I'm sure there's nothing you can do for me. I don't think you should waste your time on me, because all this was my fault. Even as a young child, it felt it was my fault that people abused me left and right. And you said, I think you're standing too close to the mountain. I think we're going to walk back from the mountain, and then it's going to become a hill, and then we can walk together step by step. And this is my first interview with you. And then I got on the floor and started breathing in a way I've never breathed before. And I cried my heart out, and I had this gorgeous experience. And then it went on and on and on. But every time I thought, what the heck is she talking about? What the heck is she talking about? I thought you were out there. And this one thing you kept telling me, you create your own reality. I'm like, she's completely crazy. You think I chose this reality? Are you nuts? Good God, who would say such a thing to me? Oh my God. It took me a long time to get to realize you do create your reality.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So
that was a long time ago.
Yeah. And then we went on, and even when I didn't understand and I was scared, I trusted you with my life because you saved it. You gave me my life back. And one day, that first year, I was driving in a car. I was a passenger. And suddenly I heard this loud laughter behind me, and I turned around, and it was me. And it was the first time that I actually laughed. I had no lines here, no lines anywhere, because I never laughed. I didn't know what laughter was. I was like, oh my God, a huge thing, a huge thing.
Oh, that's so amazing that you're sharing that part of the story, because I've recently, twice, I've had experiences where I'm remembering at the age of, I think I was 30, hearing someone giggle and not knowing who it was. And it ended up being me.
Yeah.
I had never heard my own self laugh or feel the feeling of it when your body is moving, because you can't contain it. I mean, oh, that's so interesting that you would say that part of the story. I mean, and look at the amount of joy now, that you're able to hold in your body and share with others all the time. So that, what I was wondering about, do you remember like any of the experiences? I know it was a ways back, but with the power of the breath, and I know that the language everything was new. The language here, I'm talking about physical immortality. I'm talking about,
oh my God, I thought, she's nuts. This woman says we're not going to die. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, and Baba G, right? And Baba G, and
Whatever.
yeah. And so it was so cool in the sense of like, here I'm trying to just do what I was trained to do, and this beautiful soul's like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about all the time.
Oh my God.
It's really beautiful. So it's really interesting, though, is that I think we were really deep dived for about 2 years.
Yeah, almost 3 years.
And that really brought about, if you want to share about the transformation coming out of that, and when you realized that you were going to be, there was something happening to you. Could you share about that?
Yeah, well, in Canada, I went back to school as with an infant, and I ended up starting a business and being on television. So I had a huge career over there, and I was making a lot of money. And then I fell in love with the wrong guy who wanted to come to Florida. So I put the key in the door and I moved to Florida. And that was not such a bad idea because I was supposed to be here. So, sometimes you think it's a mistake, but the mistake takes you where you're supposed to be. But while I was in that first year here with this mistake guy, I was going through hell. And he kept telling me, Joanne, he is your greatest teacher. I'm like, sometimes I want to punch you in the wall. What do you mean? I cried all day long. Joanne, he is your best teacher. Oh my God. So now when I tell that to my customers, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to want to punch me. That's for sure. So I went down and I pushed myself back up with you through those rebirthing, and I let go of this relationship. And I started back from scratch and had a career here. And I started, I don't know, I went through a lot of past lives with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes you freaked out how much I cried and everything. I remember you telling me anytime. And I would be in the bathroom on the floor crying my heart out with the phone. And I was like, I will not call her. I will not call her. I will stand up and do it. And that's what I did, because you're not supposed to be the guru that we're hanging on to. You're supposed to give us a little push, and you have to push yourself up, which you were the greatest teacher for that. And same thing that when you put me in a bath of ice, you know how horrible this is? Oh my God. First I was a lobster in a boiling water. Then I'm going in ice. I think nothing of it. You said, next time you come, why don't you bring a bag of ice? I'm like, sure. 2 bags? Okay. And then she pours it in, and I'm supposed to go in. I'm like, Paula, this is very cold. Oh my God. I'm like, I loved you so much. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me remove this. I loved you so much and believed in you so much that I went under the second water. And because I went down on the Titanic, I relived my death on the Titanic, which was a great release.
Yes. Yep.
It was magnificent. So my life started changing, and then I started training with you. And quite frankly, I was not ready to rebirth people at that point in time, because I thought, if I sit by the side of somebody for an hour, it's so boring. I don't think I can do that. And I didn't think I had what it takes either.
I remember you saying that too.
Oh God.
I can't sit there for 2 hours.
That's so, my God. And then he said, you have what it takes, you have what it takes. But it's 30 years, so it took a lot of time to do things. And then I started embracing mediumship, and everything came together. And at one point, I think it's about 15 years ago now, um, I went to be certified. But being certified is just a piece of paper. Your heart has to be in it to try to rebirth other people. You need to love them enough to take your body, mind, and soul and be there for them. You need to care. If you don't care, then it's not, because when you rebirth somebody, your aura and mine are one. Mm-hmm. So it's the support. So you need to care immensely. So you need to love your rebirther. You need to know she's got your back, that it's worth going through the ups and downs. And so we did. One of the most experience I remember through rebirthing was when I went through the birth canal and then between lives. It was the first time. And I was floating, and I was a happy spirit. And I've never been happy before. And I was joyful, and I was like a pest that teased everybody and like having fun and clowning. And I told you, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know who that is. And you said, but that's you, honey. I'm like, really? I'm a happy spirit? So that day when I left your home, I was walking 8 feet from the floor. I'm like, I'm a happy spirit. I'm a happy spirit. So when you realize who you really are inside, then you start wanting to remove all the garbage that takes you down. And I remember quite a few. It was amazing.
That's beautiful.
I remember one more time where you reverted me, and that was so intense. Oh my God. I saw like myself walking on a cloud coming like into heaven or something. And then the light of Jesus came, or the light of God, or the light of the source, whatever it is, came and wanted to enter me. And I thought, oh my God, I cannot let this touch me. I'm not worth it of it. I can't. So I started screaming at the top of my lungs. And I thought I was so undeserving of this love.
Yeah.
And I remember. I don't know if you remember that time. I think you were reverting me with Diane or something. And oh my God, this love when it comes to you is so intense and so unconditional that if you don't forgive yourself for just being a human, you're missing out. Oh my God. So I learned through rebirthing to accept that I came into this body. Yes. My spirit is a great spirit, but this body, it makes mistakes and flaws and stuff, but we're working on it.
Yeah, that's so beautiful to remember about when not everyone has that experience. And I know when people hear what happened to me in my very first session, it's kind of like a disappointment if people don't get to go through that. But it's really powerful to remember that everybody is shown aspects of themselves in relationship to the Creator. And if they can just accept that, because it's so beautiful, because what you just said was one of the hardest things for some of us that have such deep woundedness when we come into this, is to accept our embodiment. And that was what Aspira Breathwork was all about too, was accepting your embodiment. And that really, really, for me, that was really powerful, because just like, so similar, I did not want to be here for a long time. I didn't carry a pocket knife, but, I did always, in the back of my mind, I was always that young girl that would say, I know how to get out of here if I need to, And it's really sad, because I'm fine, look at over all the years, how many people, just maybe between you and I, that have that thought, that have never said that out loud. you know. And
Well, I do readings to people, so every day I hear it.
yeah, yeah,
It,
yeah,
and the big plague right now is kids from 10 years old to 30
yes,
years old. They don't want to be here because
yes,
they don't resonate with those vibrations that we are heavy, and they're coming from a higher vibration. They don't fit in. The
right,
schools are not acclimated for those kids. I mean, boy, they all want to get out. It's so sad.
yeah.
We,
Well,
we signed up for this.
yeah, we did, and thank, it's good that in my heart I really know it's not forever. It's a temporary process, and it's
Yeah.
necessary. And the amount of young people waking up now, it's so interesting that they find me where I do live groups every week, and they're all in, but they're like, I don't know what's happening to me. It's like a panic almost, but it's really beautiful. So I wanted you to take a moment and share about your center, and about our beautiful friend Edgar Casey too.
Oh my God, Casey. My life totally changed with Edgar Casey. So um, at the very beginning, 29 years ago, I ended up living with a roommate, and she was 90 pounds. She was a tiny little thing, enough to give you every complex on the planet. And
Yeah.
then she got sick. She couldn't drink and she couldn't digest any food. And they couldn't figure out, they put the camera up and down. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And I had a boyfriend at the time who was a big fan of Edgar Casey. I didn't even know who the hell Casey was. So he said, you talk to dead people. Casey is dead. And he used to help people with health issues. So why don't you call him? Like, I don't know. Because I used to talk to dead people in funeral home. They start talking to me. I didn't go to find them. So I said, okay, she was so sick. So I called Casey, and I described him with his creepy suit, going fishing and the whole 9 yards. And he told her what was wrong with her. And she did what he said, and she was cured. Uh, so he never left me. He's like my best friend. He's such a beautiful spirit. He's now working just with me. He works with a lot of my students, and he works with thousands of people throughout the world. He's just a very generous spirit who wants to share his knowledge. So we founded Johanne Rutledge School of Intuition for two things: for people to develop their mediumship. And this is important because most of my students are adults that when they were kids put the blanket on top of your head because they could feel things or see things, and they were scared the hell out of everything, so they
Yeah.
would put the blanket on top. So they become adults that either push this stuff away because they were scared of it.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous to be so intuitive and not embrace it, because then you're an empath and you take everything from everybody and you're sick and you don't even know why. So you need to protect yourself so you're alone in your own space. So opening your mediumship doesn't mean you have to talk to dead people like me every day. It means that be aware of what's around you and be in control if you want to be there or you don't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we teach a lot of children also, and children have no filter, no door. They become gorgeous mediums very young in time. And instead of being on pills in schools, because they think those kids are weird and they're not paying attention, sometimes they have a lot of entities in them. I dig ghost kids all the time. They're full of ghosts. Um, so it's very important to know we are part of the source. We have this sixth sense. We're born with it. It's not a disease. It's a tool. Use it. Just know how to use it when you want to and not when you want to. So at the school, we teach mediumship and then we rebirth people. So
Mm.
normally before COVID, for 10 years, we've been rebirthing people every second Friday. It's a huge space. Everybody's on the floor breathing. We have couples, we have mother daughters, and they keep going through the years. Now I'm doing it on Zoom, but it's not the same. I hugging them, and when they arrive and when they go, and they like the cake afterwards, and they're chit-chatting afterwards when they're like twin of them talking together. It's a party every time.
Yeah.
But that's what the school is all about. And then the book came after that. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. We're waiting for the school to reopen.
So you're not doing anything, any classes or anything at the school right now?
I did Alpha 1, Mediumship 1 and 2 in, I think it was May and April, but everybody had to come either vaccinated or with proof of being tested, and it's a big school, and they had the mask on. And then I put a lot of space, and at the end, where are they? All together. They just wanted to be all together. But everybody was tested,
Exactly.
everybody was, yeah. So the next class will be at the end of January. We're doing Alpha Mediumship again. I cannot teach that on Zoom because it's
I
they need
understand.
to share. They need to be together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine that would be a hard one to do on Zoom. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people do. A lot of people teach rebirthing on Zoom. I have no idea how they do that. When you know how many crises you can go through rebirthing, being a
Right.
rebirther is not overnight, two-day thing online. Because so much can happen. They
Yes.
go through past life, they go through fear, they go through, oh my God, I've seen so much like you've seen. You need to know what you're doing and what you're dealing with.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I
You can
know.
do more damage than good if
Yeah.
you don't
Well,
teach all
yeah,
that.
and I noticed that, I know that, uh, I think about in my first experience, which blew the lid off of everything. But when I came back home, I had to travel like 3 hours every week. And I did, but I found somebody to take me through my first 10 sessions. And the very first session was my life in Egypt. And
Oh,
I
wow.
never expected that, because my first session in the big group with 500 people in
Yeah.
Chicago was about my existence as a light being right before this lifetime.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to enter through the birth canal, and I'm in front of the beings of light, and we're discussing what's about to occur. And then I got
Okay.
here and I went, wait, wait,
Yeah. Oh my God.
I changed my mind. I
You knew.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was in for. And it was so beautiful, that first one, because when you talked about that feeling of joy, I had never been so light filled with joy. When I was entering into this realm, I came out and I was giggling and laughing so hard, and everyone else was screaming and crying.
Oh my God.
I was surrounded by the opposite, the complete polarity of what I had experienced. And I just was like, oh, and I just laid there with, but that experience changed my life, because in my heart, I knew there was power coming from my breath that was opening up something, and I felt more freedom than I had ever felt ever. Freedom physically, mentally, spiritually, all of it. And I had nothing to even compare it to, though, either at that point, because when I had gone there, I went there after I was in a car accident with third degree closed head injury. So some of my memory was wiped out. And I
Wow.
was determined, because they had treated me cognitively. And they tell you with a closed head injury that wherever you are 3 years after your accident, that's where you'll stay for the rest of your life. And I was like, not me. Like, there's no way that I'm
Oh my
willing
God.
to surrender my brain. And I knew it needed to heal. And I knew that I was very confused and getting lost and not remembering how to eat and not remembering where I lived. And, you know,
Yeah.
it was really difficult. But it was that miracle of somebody throwing that book in my lap, Rebirthing in the New Age, that
Yes.
book, I finished it in one afternoon,
Oh
and
my God.
I couldn't even put it down. And I called the number in the back of the book that day. And I
Wow.
said, and I was calling International Breathworkers Foundation. And I
Yes.
got somebody on the phone that said, well, by the way, now mind you, this is Tuesday. We're going to be in Chicago on Friday doing an intensive. And I had, in order for me to get to Florida with a closed head injury, I had to lay down in the back seat and have somebody take me there. So I got it back in the car and I said, take me back. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to get to Chicago. And I got back home. It's when I lived in up north, and I got a paper map and a red magic marker, and I mapped out on a map, put it on the passenger seat in the car, and I made my way all the way there. It was 5 hours for me, 5 or 6 hours, but I arrived at some Hilton hotel in Chicago with 500 people from all over the world.
Oh my God.
And
Wow.
I was like, my brain, I was like, I didn't even know how the next morning I'm like, I didn't remember how I got there, So by the time in one of those, it
500.
was a LRT, Sandra Ray's LRTs back
Yes.
then. And by the time we got to the first breathing session, I was like, just like so confused, but I was so excited for the unknown because I had the part of my brain that got damaged was, that got hit the most was the part that the little things were gone. So I really wasn't afraid either, though. But I knew I didn't know what I knew. I knew I might have known something. Yeah, it was really
Oh,
funny. But that breath session, that first one, and that altered me into a space also, because I felt like just like you said, I felt the light of God inside me.
yeah. Yeah.
And it was to stand in front, and they were three beings that were like 9 feet tall in
Yes.
white robes, and I was about this big.
Yeah.
And they were telling me, don't worry, everything's going to be okay, and you're going to get there, and you're going to remember why you went there. And I
that's
and
that's
that
a big
made
one.
and that yeah, really, oh man, that's yeah. So the amazing thing about that is that once I heard that in my breathwork session, I was really mad because I didn't know why I was here.
You want an answer now?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I like that. Like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to have this. So
So I want to ask you, did you go to rebirthing because you had this car accident?
yeah.
Yeah, so I believe the universe, when you're not going the right path, they knock you against the wall and go, hey, aren't you understand you're on the wrong path right now? Sometimes they have to knock you pretty hard.
Oh yeah, because prior to that car accident, I mean, my life was really good. I was a makeup artist with, I think I was with Borghese at the time, and I had a territory. I traveled about 100 miles out in a circle, and
Okay.
it was beautiful. I loved doing what I did because of my my makeup career out in California when I lived out there. That was just, it was just really fascinating. And but I just, I it's like when the time is right, it's like it doesn't matter
Yeah.
where you're at.
Yep. You're going the wrong way. Boom. On the wall. On the wall.
Right, something's going to happen, and your life is, and also, isn't it interesting, even for both of us, that how many junctures in life where it just pivoted into the next step, and it pivots and pivots and pivots, and especially right now, I don't know, about you, but I feel like, like me even doing this, what we're doing here today. Hi, everybody. It's like, this is another pivot, right? About that one thing that I love, and the breath, I mean, I love it. And it's interesting, not everybody wants to breathe. Some people
Oh,
are,
good gosh.
some
You know
people are
what?
really,
I tell my people, you're going to breathe, and after 5 minutes, you're going to go, what the hell am I doing? And be very frustrated about what you're doing. And then after that, you just keep going, keep going. I'm telling you, there's nothing, is there anything better to do on a Friday than breathing? Of course there is. Do I like breathing? Of course I don't. But it works. It works.
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, it works.
And
So I acknowledge the people that do it because
yeah, absolutely. Well, and what our breath does physically for us, and especially for getting that oxygen into our body, the importance of that with our immune system.
Yes,
I mean, we want to know how to breathe properly now more than ever, fully, freely, nothing inhibiting, and opening up those pathways so that we can start physically feeling better too. I mean, it's so tied into so many things. And, right now, I think for me and for the people that are coming in new, it's really interesting that it's becoming about like our beginnings. It's becoming about the ancestral lineage that they've been carrying in their bodies.
yes.
And when that gets clear, oh my gosh. I mean, I am like in awe over how the clarity of the world, the universe, the multiverse. It's like you just kind of, that bigger picture is always right there. And what you're doing, and the one of the most important things is, I've been talking to a lot of my clients about this, is staying conscious, not falling into the sleep state.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But
Yeah.
what I realize is that people are looking for a magic pill, so they want it to work right now. So when you rebirth, to me, you are your own therapist. So your body is going to peel this onion at the pace that you can take, and then the pace that you're willing to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you should not have expectation. Just keep breathing. Breathing is part of life. This is a gift. Oh my God, this is the first gift they gave us was breathe. The second gift was you have free will to breathe. I mean, come on. So just breathe, but no expectations. Because people tell me how long it's going to take. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Just breathe. Just keep
Right.
breathing every day. This is not about how long it's going to take, honey. And they
Yeah.
go to a psychologist for 10 years and pay a fortune, and they're still on the chair of the psychologist because
Yeah.
they don't have this insight. Just be your own therapist. Don't give your power away. You have the power. Breathe. Just breathe.
Yeah.
So I got last year I got cancer in my face, 9 surgery there, and a month ago I went to the doctor. They take blood tests every 6 months, and she goes, "Wow, your immune system is up to the roof. What do you do? You take a lot of vitamins?" I'm like, "I breathe. I'm a breather. This is what I do. I breathe." She goes, "Uh huh." I'm like, "You don't understand. breathing boosts your immune system. Just you take the energy of the source of the earth and you boost everything. So I'm not sure if she believed me, but that's what it does the trick. You breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a magic thing.
It is. And I have the exact same experience with my doctor. She's always like, I don't know. She goes, I don't get it. You're and I said, it's so simple that it's complicated for some people.
Yeah, yes. And sometimes, my clients, they breathe and something happens in their life and they do not connect it to rebirthing because it didn't happen on the floor that day. It
Uh,
happens suddenly that it's shifting. Your way of looking at things is shifting, so they don't connect the two. I'm
yeah.
like, don't you see you've been rebirthing? Uh,
Yes.
yeah. I'm like, oh my God, all this work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello?
I know.
But it works. Just breathe.
I think back, that was brought to my attention a lot because within the first 6 months of my going to that, to my first breath work or ever, um, I designed a line of sportswear, and I made that tie-dye out when tie-dye was coming back, and I had a factory in Fort Lauderdale that was
Oh,
making
wow.
the creations that we were putting together. And then we started going to the clothing shows and displaying and selling to other places. And
Oh, wow.
I don't even know where that came from. But that is like, you know what I mean? Like when it opens,
Samuels. Yeah.
you receive. And I just felt like, I think I want to do that. And it was possible. So the beauty of it is all probabilities and all possibilities come on. And it really is your choice what you want to do. And it's always been your choice. We've just never known that. And we don't walk through our lives like that until we kind of almost have to accept the power that we are and stop being like happenstance, or I fell, I have the have tos. And I know, because I was in awe for the next 3 years. This line, this clothing line, and I went to all the shows, LA, Chicago, we went
Yeah.
everywhere. And I'd sit back and I'd be like, how's this even happening? And I had the most fun because I met the most wonderful people, but it was the creation seed, like a seed got let loose from me.
Yeah.
And it just like it created something so fun and wonderful. And I know that, I never expected it to be what it was. I just did it because it was fun. And when I showed other people, they were all excited. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like, it was
But
pretty wild.
fun is the passion, and passion is the fire. So if you get up in the morning and you have no clue why, it's just to go to your little, you're missing the boat. So the one thing we're supposed to do is, what am I getting up in the morning for? You need to find a passion. You need to find this fire burning. So,
Mhm.
like I said in somewhere in my book, some people, most people, I'm part of them. I have to work every day to pay the bills. But so if I work, I'm doing an electrician 8 hours a day. So what can I find on the side as a hobby that would bring me fun, excitement, and passion? And sometimes it's volunteering, and sometimes this becomes so exciting that it takes over and you finally do for a living what you are.
Yeah.
So don't say, oh no, I have to work 40 hours away. And no, what else makes you kick? And
Yeah.
then pick some of that.
Yeah,
And
that's such a
I,
beautiful I love that picture that came to me when you said that, especially when it takes over. And then you're in the flow of creation.
yeah, and
I
everything's
mean,
possible.
that is just so beautiful. Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a
So
blessed life, eh? Wow.
Well, people say I have only this one life. No, we don't. But while we're here, let's make the best of this one for one thing. So I don't know if you wanted to mention my book. I just want to talk
Yes.
about it a little bit. Is it
Yeah, I
okay?
want you to talk about your book, yep, and how people can find you. Yep.
So it's called Love Freely, Live Fully, and Make Your Life Spectacular. And that's the word, spectacular. And I'm going to tell you what I found this word spectacular, and it touched my. So Robin Williams was somebody who I really loved because he was a beautiful human being. Besides being funny, if you look on YouTube and you put live spectacular Robin Williams, is giving like a 2.5 minute speech. It's a mix of his movies, and this is where he is old and he says, make your life spectacular. Oh my God. This word bounces in my head, and I'm thinking, yes, this is what you're going after, making it spectacular. So, my book has 12 chapters and it's very simply written. Of course, I'm French Canadian, so when I try to read this book, it's a party. So it's about love and death and suicide and health and healing and pets and Akashic records and purpose in life. Very simply put, it's not made for gurus that already know all that stuff. I don't know if anybody knows all that stuff, but it's really to, in simple words, to explain how life works, the dynamic, the basic dynamic. And really, you create your own reality, even if it sounded completely nuts 30 years ago. But and I always come with movies. So do you remember the movie with Queen Latifah, The Last Holiday, something like that?
Who
And
else?
she thinks she has a brain tumor and she's gonna die.
Oh,
So she goes on a trip, take all of her money, and goes on a trip in a big hotel and spend all the money. And at the end, the machine was broken. She didn't have a tumor. But when she thought she was going to die, it opened all the doors, you know? She
yeah,
did everything she really wanted to do. And
yeah.
she had a book that was called um, The Book of Possibilities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in this book, she had pictures of everything that she dreamed of. Well, when she thought she was dying, she actually got everything she was dreaming of, and she didn't die, and everything happened. So everybody should have a book of possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
because impossible is really I am possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm possible.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to dream. We have to look at the dynamic of life and see everything we're thinking. We make it happen, and just go the book of possibility. Make a big book. Dream big.
Yeah, you remember when that movie came out, The Bucket List?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so I decided it wasn't going to be a bucket list because when you say that, it always had reference to no longer being here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like death. And I thought, well, I want a list, but I don't want it to be the death list. So I was trying to come up with different names for, instead of the bucket list, it was a bucket life. So
Okay, and you keep putting in the bucket. That's
so
good.
this is how silly it was, is that and I actually had a pink bucket.
Yeah, it's not silly.
And then
It's
it was
whatever clicked for you is good.
So it was like creation too, because I would drop ideas in there. And then about every few months, I would take this bucket list and I'd turn it and I'd go through these and and it would give me like another, like, oh my gosh, and then I would also see how many things had already come into fruition that I
Yeah.
was doing. And I really got into a couple years ago with especially with breathing with clients in a group, we would do vision boards.
Yes.
And how powerful. I know so many people that pretty amazing stories that entire board is a reality that they are now living. And you're one of them.
Yep.
Yeah. So just putting our energy into something and using our creative and allowing that to flow. I just think it's amazing. So we got 5 more minutes. So tell people how to get in touch with you.
Well, my website is reachingsouls.biz, B-I-Z. And my book is on the first page, or you can just go on Amazon. Love freely, live fully, and make your life spectacular. And it's a simple book.
I have a signed copy.
Of course. And I just finished recording it in the recording studio. Oh my God, with my Canadian accent, it was, sometimes I want to pull my hair out, but so you're doing your cute accent. I'm like, yeah, they're laughing their heart out, saying, what the heck is she saying? But my husband thought that the voice of the person who puts her heart into it should be in the book. So
yeah.
So we're going to start on the next book, which is going to be about health and healing and how to go about healing inside out. So I'm not a writer, but I have things to say. So everybody has a story, right?
Yeah.
And they can also text me. They can find all this on my website.
That's beautiful.
And if they can find you and rebirth with you, thank God, because you saved my life. You gave me a new lease on life. I would be grateful for eternity. There's nothing else I can do.
You became your own guru.
I don't like the guru thing. Oh my God, I don't like the guru thing.
I agree. It's a word that we kind of grew out with. We grew out with, and now it's changing. Yeah.
People sit in front of me to have a reading. I'm like, the first thing I'm going to tell you, I'm no God, and I'm no doctor, and do not give your power away to anybody, not even to me. You have free will, and at the end, you're going to make sense of things on your own. Do not give your power away.
Yeah.
Do not give your power away to a crystal or something, and then the crystal breaks, and people are, oh my God, I don't have protections anymore. I'm like, oh my God, do not. The power is in here, nowhere else to be found. It's inside. Yeah. Don't give your power away. Don't. But everybody should pay it forward. If something beautiful happens to you, pay it forward.
Yeah.
Give a hug, give a kiss, give a nice word. Pay it forward. This is the most important thing. Mm-hmm. One life at a time.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's so beautiful. So I just want to wrap it up here. I'm so eternally grateful for our journey, us together. And I love remembering how when Joanne came to my door, I sent her away. I'm not sure. I was overwhelmed by the story, and she only gave me a dot of it. But I just thought, why is this person? I don't know if I can, it's like, and then I said, I'm going to meditate on it, and I would get really clear. And at the time, I was a student of the Course in Miracles, and it was really a beautiful experience that I heard very, very clearly that this woman came into my life because it was going to be our journey. It wasn't going to just be her healing, her journey. It was what we were going to bring together energetically, heartfelt love that was going to take us both. And I love that is exactly what happened. Yeah. expansion of energy by us coming together. And I know it was scary. It was my first year with my shingled out, and I was.
It's okay. Oh my God, I was coming from nowhere, so that's you
I
did
just
wonderful.
really, and I remember calling Connecticut, and I had just talked to Bob Mandel, and I was telling him, I'm like, how come one of my clients just like, you didn't tell me about these people, like I was like
those complicated things.
like, and I love that, it was just like, there's a reason that who we attract in our journey, that come to our door all along the journey. It's so beautiful to know that they're there for us.
Yes,
it's really beautiful. So thank you, my love, and congratulations on the book. And everybody knows how to go on Amazon. And if you'd like to purchase that, and go to Johanne's website, reachingsouls.biz, and check out everything else that she does, and book a session, whatever you'd like. And this is Global Unified Breathing. My name is Paula Rowe. You can go to globalunifiedbreathing.com or the soulawakeningproject.com, either one of those, and contact me any questions about anything that we talked about today. And with big hug, Johanne, big hug. Thank you so much, love. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.